welcome back to another Top 5 list with yours truly, Sam Healey. Well, as I was thinking about the year, I thought, we could do a whole bunch of lists on a whole bunch of games, but let's make a list about something that's not about games. And so I thought maybe it would be cool to list my top 5 conventions of the year and my reasoning why I place them where I place them in that list. We get to go to a lot of conventions during the course of the year at the Dice Tower Convention, and I find that some of them, while I enjoy all the conventions, it's a great time, period, but some of the conventions I find myself enjoying more than others, and that was kind of intriguing for me. So, this is going to be my top 5 conventions of the year. Now, a couple of caveats. Just because your favorite convention isn't on this list, it doesn't mean that I didn't enjoy it. Now, a couple of caveats here. Just because the conventions that I put on the list are maybe not your favorite conventions, it doesn't mean that I don't enjoy those. Either I didn't go to the convention or I just didn't like it as much as these 5. Okay, so I'm not saying that these are the definitive top 5 conventions of the year. These are the ones that I simply enjoyed more than the others that I went for various reasons. But I enjoyed all the trips that we took this year, and I count myself blessed for having been able to do so. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get to my top 5 conventions of 2016. Now, my number 5 is the GAMA Trade Show. Now, the reason the GAMA Trade Show creeped in on this list is because, first of all, it is the first convention of the year where we get to see, well, at least for me specifically, where we get to see all of the new things that are coming out from the different publishers throughout the course of the year. And we get to have interviews with a number of different publishers. I think we put out like 65, 70 videos. We talked to that many different publishers about the different games that they have coming out. And so it's just it's almost like a crash course in what's coming out this year, all in about 3 to 4 days, and I just really enjoy that. That's the main reason why. Now, the second reason why I like GAMA so much is because we were able to tack on at the very end of GAMA MeepleCon. Now, MeepleCon was just a smaller convention that was going on at the tail end of GAMA and in Las Vegas, and so we stayed behind for a few more days and attended MeepleCon, and we had a great time there as well. So the GAMA Trade Show was a great trip for a number of different reasons. It was my first trip to Las Vegas. Was not impressed, but the trade show itself, I really enjoyed it. Enjoyed everything that we did there. It was a lot of work. It was a grueling schedule, but it was a great time. So my number 5, the GAMA Trade Show and MeepleCon. Now my number 4 is Gen Con, the granddaddy of conventions here in America, or at least, I guess, board game conventions here in America. Now this one, you might be surprised it's not higher on my list, and that's not really saying a whole lot. Please understand this is a top 5 list. However, I like to be able to play games with people, and I'm not really able to do that as much as I would like to at Gen Con. We have a booth, and we have to spend a lot of our time manning that booth and going to different kinds of publishers and getting review copies and that type of thing and making connections. And there's a lot of stuff that goes on, and I enjoy going to Gen Con, don't get me wrong, but as far as why I enjoy going to conventions, this one doesn't rank as high just because I'm not able to play as many games as I would like to during the course of the convention. But we have a great time meeting people at Gen Con. We have a great time of making connections with publishers and that type of stuff. Just a tremendous time at Gen Con. Some other ones are going to be better, but I really enjoy the list. There's a lot of different things that go on with press releases and press events. And I remember the first time I was able to go to Gen Con, we were able to go to, I believe it was an Asmodee press event where we got to just sample a whole bunch of their new games that were coming out this year. Last year, or rather this year, I was able to go to a press release for the Mythic Battles Pantheon game coming out from Monolith, and so just cool stuff like that gets to happen at Gen Con, and I really enjoy it. The food at Gen Con is amazing, probably too much for what it's worth. and there's just a lot of good stuff. The food trucks are nice. The restaurants in the area are nice. The hotel is nice if you can get. Of course, that's one of the main gripes about Indy is that it's really difficult to get hotel rooms right close to the convention, but we've had good success with that, and it's one of my favorite conventions. But number 4, Gen Con. Now my number 3 is Origins. Now this is the one that's probably fallen closest to my heart. This is the one convention that I've been able to go to more than any of the others, with Dice Tower Con being a possible very close second. But the idea with Origins is that it has a very family-friendly type atmosphere, and that's what I enjoy about it. It also has a very laid-back atmosphere, a very casual atmosphere, and I really enjoy that about those kind of conventions. As a matter of fact, my top 3 conventions all share that in common. It's a very family-friendly, a very casual atmosphere, and Origins has always been like that for me. Now, the North Market really puts it up there for me as well. I know I can get a great lunch with not any worries at all. Now, it's a little pricey, the North Market, but still, I really enjoy it. And this year, we actually ventured out a little bit further from the convention area and got some other pretty cool restaurants. Saw a couple of neat shops that were in the area. That was a cool thing as well. But the convention itself, we've been fortunate to get a very large space where we can meet with people after the convention is kind of round down for the day, and play games in our area and interview, doing the summer previews for Origins as well. So Origins is definitely in my triumvirate of conventions for this year, and probably for many years to come. It's one of my definite favorite conventions. My number 2 seems like it might be a little self-serving, but Dice Tower Con is my second favorite convention. And well, you might be thinking, why isn't it your most favorite? I mean, this is your guys' convention. You can make it to where the way you want it to be, and that's true to an extent. But this year specifically, it came in second, and it's because my first one was just a phenomenal trip. So we'll get to that in just a moment. Dice Tower Con, very family friendly, very casual, plenty of space for people to game, and that's what I really enjoy about it. This year specifically, we were able to have a good number of publishers and vendors come in. Cool Stuff Incorporated always has their shop set up in the corner, and their ding and dent is off the chain as far as sales and that type of thing are concerned. So I really enjoy all of the different aspects. The hotel, the Royal Caribe, is an amazing hotel. The pool is amazing. The restaurants, the food is decent, although somewhat overpriced, but it's in a great spot. We have really kind of fell onto a gold mine in that respect, and I really enjoy Dice Tower Con for that. So that's my number 2, the Dice Tower Convention. And my number 1 convention from 2016 was the United Kingdom Gaming Expo. And now, it was not just the convention that put this at number 1. It was an amazing trip altogether. Each day had great gaming significance. The first day that we were, full day that we were there, we had a game day or a game night with our hosts, local gaming group or a little bit of them. The second night we were there, we went to Drafts in East London, I believe, and had a great time playing games with a couple people that stopped by there. Was able to interview the manager of the store and everything like that. Had a great time at that. Then on the third day, I was able to go to Nottingham and spent some time at the Luterati Cafe with Jay Howlett, and she was able to show me around there a little bit, played a game, and then after that, John Carter from Games Workshop took me over to Warhammer World, and I got to spend a lot of time, the entire afternoon really, eating lunch with them, interviewing a bunch of the guys that work for Games Workshop, and just seeing the marvel that is Warhammer World. And then John was able to take me over to Birmingham and drop me off at the NEC, and again, the convention was a great time as well. A lot of friendly, very just casual atmosphere that was there, and I just incredibly enjoyed the entire trip. And so that's my number one convention for the year 2016, the UKGE. So that's it. As always, in the comments, let me know if you agree with me, if you don't agree with me. I'd love to chat it up with you a little bit there. And of course, let me know what your favorite conventions are. I always like to hear about that type of thing as well. So until next time, we'll see you guys on the flip side.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at DicetowerNetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.